There are moments in life when something unexpected stirs inside you, a pull that whispers, something big is coming. You can't explain it, but it feels as if the universe is about to open a door you didn't even know existed. That feeling is not an accident. It is the vibration of alignment, the quiet prelude to an awakening. Right now, that energy is reaching you, and it begins with a name that has become a symbol of possibility, Elon Musk. Maybe you've seen him in interviews, maybe you've read about his companies, or maybe you've felt a strange curiosity when his name appears. But the message is not really about him, it's about what he represents. He stands as a mirror for something buried inside you, the part that refuses to accept limitation. The part that believes one human idea can reshape reality. That spark already lives within you, waiting for ignition. When people hear money, they think of numbers, bank balances, transactions. But money is only energy translated into form. It is attention, creativity, courage, and timing materialized into something the world can hold. So when you see the words "Did Elon Musk send you money?" the truth hidden inside them is this: the same energy that created his billions is reaching toward you right now. The currency isn't just cash, it's consciousness. The universe speaks in symbols before it delivers substance. A symbol might appear as a coincidence, a sudden message, or a phrase that feels charged with electricity. This message is that spark. It comes to wake you up from hesitation, to remind you that destiny doesn't knock on polished doors, it crashes through the ones you thought were locked. Think of how Elon Musk began, uncertain, rejected, sleeping on couches, carrying ideas that others laughed at. What separated him from the rest wasn't money, it was motion. He moved forward when logic said stop. He invested energy before he possessed proof. That's the secret current running through this message. Wealth follows movement, not the other way around. Every step you take toward your vision signals to the universe that you are ready for provision. So when you read this, imagine a transfer happening, not a bank transaction, but an energetic one. Imagine determination, focus, and creative courage being wired into your spirit. Feel it as a deposit of potential, a surge of clarity that begins to rewrite how you see yourself. You are not waiting for money, money is waiting for you to remember who you are. There will be resistance. The world around you will whisper doubts, the way critics whispered around every visionary. But resistance is proof of power. The heavier the pushback, the closer you are to the threshold. Each obstacle exists to test your commitment, not your worth. The question isn't can you have abundance, but will you hold your faith long enough to see it crystallize? Pause for a moment. Look at your life as it stands. Every challenge you've faced has been training you to handle the magnitude of what's coming. You've been learning how to manage energy, through relationships, setbacks, victories, and loss. Now you stand at the point where everything you've endured begins to make sense. The alignment of effort and grace is forming, and the key is attention. Whatever you focus on expands. That is why this message found you today. It is not a coincidence. It's a signal that your vibration is matching with opportunity. Somewhere, someone is making a decision that could change your trajectory, maybe a new job, a client, a partnership, a sudden chance, and your awareness right now is magnetizing it toward you. Think of Elon Musk's ventures, rockets, cars, satellites, as metaphors for human potential. Each project began as a single idea questioned by everyone. Yet, every doubt became fuel. That is the same principle now applying to your path. The universe is waiting for your next declaration. Not I hope, not maybe someday, but I am ready. Because readiness is the password for miracles, this is part 1 of the transmission, the awakening stage. You have begun to shift from expectation to creation. Feel the difference already beginning inside you, the quiet certainty that something greater is unfolding. When you begin to align with abundance, life starts to rearrange itself around your new vibration. People drift away, opportunities shift, timing alters. At first it may feel like loss, but what's really happening is calibration. The old patterns that could not sustain your next level are dissolving. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Elon Musk once said that if something is important enough, even if the odds are against you, you should still do it. That is the vibration you are stepping into now. The odds may look uneven, but the universe does not work through probability, it works through purpose. Purpose bends the laws of logic. It opens doors that statistics say are locked. When you act with conviction, unseen forces begin to conspire in your favor. Remember the moments when you doubted your worth. When you believed others were destined for more because they seemed to have luck or connections. That illusion ends here. The real difference between you and the ones you admire isn't talent or fate, it's decision. They decided that their vision mattered more than their fear. That single choice changes everything. Once you decide, reality begins to obey. This is why messages like this arrive disguised as curiosity, a headline, a phrase, a name like Elon Musk. It's the universe's way of catching your attention long enough to whisper a truth. The potential you admire is already coded inside you. You don't need someone to send you money, you need to remember that you are the generator of the same frequency that creates it. Money is not chasing those who need it. It's chasing those who command it with purpose. When Elon Musk started his ventures, he didn't have excess wealth, he had extraordinary clarity. That clarity became magnetism. People, investors, and circumstances began to orbit his vision. That's the hidden transaction, not of dollars, but of energy. The world pays attention to whoever believes hardest, so how do you receive this energy? Not by waiting. Not by hoping. By acting as if what you desire already belongs to you. The mind is a transmitter. Every thought sends a signal, every emotion strengthens it. When your signal is mixed, fear, doubt, hesitation, the universe gets confused. But when your signal is pure, gratitude, confidence, purpose, the universe delivers with precision. Today, shift from I wish to I am. Speak abundance as your natural language. Walk with the posture of someone who expects miracles, not because of arrogance, but because of alignment. The same universal intelligence that made a man build rockets and electric cars out of imagination can also rearrange your life to match your purpose. Imagine waking up tomorrow and feeling the same level of conviction that Musk feels about Mars, but for your own dream. Maybe your vision isn't a rocket. Maybe it's a business, a creative calling, or a silent desire that's been waiting for permission. This is your permission. This is your ignition moment. Every person who became wealthy, fulfilled, or influential started with the same blank canvas. What changed was that they finally stopped asking for proof before moving. They created proof by moving. Action summons evidence. When you act, the universe echoes. That echo comes back as opportunity, as new people, as ideas, as doors that open quietly but unmistakably. This is why your inner dialogue matters. If you keep saying, "I can't," the universe agrees. If you say, "I am ready," the universe rearranges. It's not magic, it's physics. Energy follows instruction. The problem is that most people speak commands they don't mean. They talk about failure more than victory, lack more than abundance, problems more than possibilities. Change your vocabulary, and you'll change your vibration. When you do, you'll notice small signs first, unexpected compliments, ideas that click, money showing up from forgotten sources, people reaching out. Don't dismiss them. These are the universe's test deposits. How you respond determines the scale of what comes next. Gratitude multiplies, indifference dissolves. Elon Musk didn't become who he is by luck. He became that because he refused to interpret failure as final. Every obstacle became data, every setback became fuel. That mindset is available to you right now. The question is, will you live like your vision is real before it becomes visible? Take this as a transaction. You are exchanging hesitation for conviction, scarcity for abundance, and smallness for expansion. You are wiring your mind for wealth not because you crave money but because you crave freedom, the freedom to create, to choose, to live without apology. That freedom is your natural state. As you step into this new vibration, everything will begin to respond. Your energy will attract different people. Your words will carry more weight. The right opportunities will start to align. It won't all happen at once, but it will happen with precision. The more consistent your belief, the faster your reality adjusts. You're entering a stage of life where money, ideas, and timing are converging. This is not fantasy, it's focus. You are stepping into the same current that carried every visionary to success. The message "Did Elon Musk send you money?" was never about receiving, it was about realizing that you are the sender, the receiver, and the signal all at once. You woke before dawn that morning, long before the alarm could interrupt the quiet hum of the world. Something in the air felt different, lighter, as if the atmosphere itself had shifted overnight. The room was the same, yet the silence carried a pulse. You didn't rush to check your phone or open the curtains. You just sat up slowly and listened. It wasn't sound you were hearing, it was awareness. A quiet voice that said, "Pay attention." You remembered the message you had read the night before, the strange phrase about Elon Musk and money, and though it had sounded like a metaphor, it had stirred something deep. You had gone to bed thinking of abundance, of courage, of purpose. And now, somehow, the world felt charged, as if the invisible current of possibility had been switched on. When you finally did open your phone, there was a new email from a client who had gone silent for months. Another message came from a friend asking if you were free to collaborate on a project you'd once dreamed about. It wasn't millions of dollars landing in your account, but it felt like the first ripple of something bigger. The phrase came back to you, "Wealth follows movement." You made coffee, not rushing, but with the calm precision of someone who knows a small action can carry meaning. You remembered how Musk had once said that he looked at a problem as an engineer, not as a pessimist, that everything could be solved if approached from first principles. So you looked at your life that way. What were the first principles of your dream? What was the smallest next step you could take today that aligned with it? You sent 2 messages, one to follow up on an idea you'd been avoiding, another to introduce yourself to someone you admired. They were simple acts, but they carried energy. You didn't know it yet, but those messages would start a chain of events that would shift your trajectory. By midday, you walked outside, and the sunlight felt sharper, clearer. People seemed friendlier. It wasn't that the world had changed, you had. You were noticing opportunity instead of scarcity, noticing possibilities instead of obstacles. This was the real transaction, the deposit of awareness that turns ordinary life into a field of potential. In the evening, you sat with a notebook. You wrote, "I am ready to receive in action, not in waiting." The words looked powerful on the page. You thought of the countless nights Musk must have stayed awake sketching designs for rockets no one believed could fly. You realized that imagination becomes evidence the moment you commit to it. Days passed. You kept acting on that energy. Small coincidences began to stack, an unexpected discount when you needed it, a new client, a message from an old friend who had an opening exactly where you wanted to grow. Each time, you smiled. You weren't surprised, you were aligned. Then one morning, a letter arrived, not from Elon Musk, not from a billionaire benefactor, but from a company whose name you barely remembered. It was a refund, money you'd forgotten you were owed. It wasn't fortune-changing, but it was symbolic. The universe was answering in the language you understood. The phrase echoed again, money follows energy. You started to see how the sending wasn't literal, it was energetic reciprocity. You had shifted your focus from lack to creation, and the world mirrored it back. Every action you took, every risk, every small leap of faith, was like sending a signal to the field around you, and the field responded with precision. Weeks later, your project took off. A small post you had written went viral, attracting attention from unexpected places. A new investor contacted you, intrigued by your clarity and courage. The opportunity was real, tangible, and it came not from chasing but from aligning. You could trace it all back to that one moment when you chose to believe that the phrase, "Did Elon Musk send you money?" was an invitation, not a joke. You realized that money had never been the main character in this story. Awareness was. And awareness, once expanded, never contracts. You looked around your space, same walls, same furniture, but the energy had transformed. You had become the sender, the receiver, and the message all at once. The city was awake before the sun. Cars whispered down the streets, lights flickered on in 1,000 windows. And you could feel it, the hum of creation itself. You stepped outside, inhaled, and realized you were breathing in the same air as every inventor, artist, dreamer, and builder who ever refused to quit. The air smelled like potential. You felt it in your pulse, the rhythm of motion, of purpose aligning with timing. You had changed something invisible yet massive, the frequency of belief. What began as curiosity had become ignition. You were no longer waiting for life to choose you, you were choosing it, minute by minute, with a focus so sharp the universe had no choice but to mirror it. That morning, your phone buzzed again, another opportunity. Bigger this time. A company wanted your input. The amount they offered made your heart race. Not because of greed, but because it confirmed what you had begun to understand. When you move as if abundance is normal, abundance becomes normal. You walk down the street, every step light and certain. It felt as if the ground itself was cheering for you. Strangers met your eyes and smiled. You were radiating something that needed no explanation. That's what belief looks like when it turns visible. Somewhere across the world, Elon Musk was probably working on another impossible project, building ships for Mars, or satellites, or energy systems no one could yet imagine. But you didn't feel smaller next to that vision. You felt parallel. You realized that the point was never to imitate greatness, it was to activate your own. The same current that powers a rocket can power a human spirit. The same imagination that launches a company can launch a destiny. You reached a corner and stopped. The sunlight hit your face, and you laughed. It wasn't madness, it was momentum. The energy that had once felt distant, belonging only to others, was running through you now. You could feel the connection between effort and expansion, between thought and matter. You whispered, "Thank you," not to anyone in particular, but to everything, to the journey, to the challenges that trained you, to the invisible hand that kept pushing you forward when quitting felt easier. Gratitude roared through your chest like a rocket engine, and then you knew, the message had never been about someone sending you money. It was about the universe sending you a mirror, a reminder that the same genius, resilience, and abundance you admired were never separate from you. You were the source. You were the signal. You were the investor and the investment. The city around you seemed to shimmer, as if reality itself was applauding. You could almost hear it. Keep moving. Every idea you act on, every risk you take, every word you speak in faith sends another signal. You are not waiting for your moment, you are creating it. You looked at the sky. Planes carved lines across the blue. And you thought of rockets. You thought of expansion. You thought of how impossible dreams become inevitable when belief outgrows fear. You smiled and walked on, faster now, with purpose in every stride. The phrase echoed one last time, but this time it wasn't a question. It was an answer written in motion. Elon Musk didn't send you money. The universe sent you a reminder that you are made of the same force that makes worlds move.